Valkyrie. What is the movie?
Valkyrie.
How does that work?
Valkyrie. It's the German version of it because early on they're like, by the way, everyone is actually speaking German.
Oh, really? What? Now, wasn't this a movie about pigeons a while back?
Pigeons?
Oh, Valiant.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. But so they actually speak German in this.
No, they do not.
No,
that's one of the biggest problems with this movie.
They start off with like Tom Cruise writing a letter, and you're hearing him speak in German with subtitles.
Oh, was it
what he's
Scientology?
writing? But then slowly, Tom Cruise's L.A. Surfer Boy accent version of it, his voice kind of overlaps it, and they transfer it. And the point is to say, hey, everyone in this movie is speaking German, which would be fine if some people didn't have an accent and some people did.
Yeah.
Which they're from all over. There's like a dude's got a Polish accent. There's a guy who sounds like a Russian. There's a British sounding guy.
Yeah, it's like that movie Enemies at the Gate. I mean, because you remember that. It was all about the Germans versus the Russians, but everybody spoke with a British accent, and it throws you off.
Yeah.
But the saving grace of that movie was like, it was actually pretty good, and the action was so good, and the acting was so good, you actually got into it, and you forgave it, even though as hard as it was. Here, that doesn't really happen so much.
I love these World War II movies where everybody's speaking a different accent. Like you got, like you said, one person speaking Polish, another person is speaking British. I'm expecting somebody to come up speaking Klingon.
That would be awesome. I want to see that.
Well, I mean, that Kevin Costner Robin Hood already set the precedent for like, okay, everybody's not always going to speak with the accent they should. But I know for me with World War II movies, like it's so ingrained that like, hey, the Germans speak German. And their arch enemies, the Brits and the Americans, speak with their accent. So trying to watch Brits and Americans, who's supposed to be Nazis, it was a real disconnect for me. I'm like, I just don't buy it.
I just watched like 4 World War II movies practically in a row this fall and winter. And in all but one of them, everybody had an accent. American actors who learned to speak with a German accent. I'm sorry, Tom Cruise. Put a little effort into it.
Yeah.
This whole film was just built because he said, you know what, people need to take me seriously as an actor again. Well, you know what? That doesn't just happen. You don't just walk onto the set and go, okay, where's the script? All right, here we go. All right, I'm ready to read my lines now.
Yeah.
Gonna
get intense. I'm intense now.
And there's something weird about when somebody tries to say Heil Hitler with a British accent. It's like they go, Heil Hitler?
Yeah.
Spot tea?
Like he didn't even bother with that. He sounds like a surfer boy.
but the rest of them,
what do you say? Heil Hitler, dude.
Heil Zeno.
I mean, he's actually a Midwesterner, but you got guys like Tom Wilkinson, who's very British, great actor.
Yeah.
But he's speaking with his British accent.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be, leader of the Nazi party or, one of these guys who's high up. It's like, this just doesn't work.
Yeah, he's not Hitler.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Yeah,
Wait a minute, Tom Wilkinson is playing Hitler?
No, he's not. He's
Okay.
not Hitler. I'm just saying he's a high general or colonel or something.
Okay, so what is this movie about? Well, have you ever heard the story of Hitler where a bunch of his own guys tried to kill him? What happened like 15 times. This is one of those times.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is the guy of many Germans were like, as the war was going on, they're like, you know what? This is kind of shit that's happening here is kind of fucked up. Which is true. I mean, the Germans, it's not like they were the stormtroopers. They weren't a bunch of clones. Right. They were people. And some of them said, I don't like Jews as much as the next guy, but this is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, how many lampshades do I need here? Come on.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is one of those guys. And after he ends up at ground zero of an explosion that turns him into a pirate, he's even more upset. Well, it's true. He blows his hand off. He gets a patch. The guy's a pirate. After that.
I mean,
he should have gone with a pirate.
10 minutes in his movie, he's Knuckles from Flapjack.
Heil Hitler.
And then he has a little parrot on his shoulder.
Yeah. So they make this attempt to kill Hitler, and the very first one doesn't work. So they try again with Tom Cruise, who's going to leave a bomb and to blow up Hitler. Now, what we know from history is that this is going to fail. So already, whatever tension might have been there is gone. It's like, okay, I'm just going to watch these guys set up a plot that's going to go badly, and guess what? It does.
The army swore an oath, an oath that won't just die with Hitler. It doesn't matter. It only matters that we act now, before we lose the war. Otherwise, this will always be Hitler's Germany. And we have to show the world that not all of us were like him. That is not enough for me. There has to be a chance of success. Then find a way.
I mean, there's never a point when you believe in it where you root for him because you know it's not going to work out. And what cracked me up was like the way it didn't go right, because Tom Cruise is supposed to set this bomb by Hitler and then walk out.
Yeah.
So then it gets moved around. And I'm like, see, that's the problem right there. Because if this had been Al-Qaeda, the guy would have stuck around and blown up with it. I mean, they have dedication. We might hate them, but they're true to the cause.
You're in a car right there. Just drive that motherfucker into the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There
Just
you go.
saying. Not to give anybody any ideas.
No idea.
No. But yeah, okay, so you're right. There's a problem there that, like a lot of movies have when we already know what the ending is. Okay, so how do we get excited about this? Well, normally you do it because you have really great actors, and there are a lot of good actors in here.
Branagh, Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, unfortunately, someone told them early on, "Hey, man, Tom Cruise is playing the lead role in this," and not one of them acts like they could give a shit throughout this entire movie. You got Kenneth Branagh just acting bored for what sequences he's in. He's got Terrence Stamp being. Well, Terrence Stamp, like he isn't most of the time. You know,
He's a little toned down.
Yeah. Clipped, English, stuffy Terrence Stamp, which is weird because he's a German, once again.
Is he really?
Well, no. I mean,
in the movie.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just saying, as another, you got Tom Wilkinson, you got all these really good actors who just are, okay, this would be great if we felt like this was going to go anywhere. And worst of all is Tom Cruise, who is so, I mean, when people use the term effortless for an acting performance, they usually mean it in a good way. And in this case, it just looks like he didn't put any effort into it.
He's stuck in one gear, and he never changed his emotion. He's just Mr. Intense through the whole thing, and that's about it. And if I'm going to I'll save this for later. But I heard like rumors when I was in New York, but that Bryan Singer, the director, was really hardly ever on set. Like the ADAs did all the work, and
really?
And the crew thought that Tom Cruise was a pain in the ass to work with.
Well, there was so much talk about shit going horribly wrong during the length of this, and delays and infighting, and who knows what really happened. But either way, the whole film feels like a television project, not a film.
It does.
Completely.
You're right.
And if I had seen this, if I had stumbled across this on the History Channel, I would have stayed up for it.
You probably would have told everybody, hey, this is one you should watch.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't bad at all. This is actually pretty interesting. I always wondered what happened. You always hear about the time Hitler almost got blowed up. Well, this is that. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I don't know how much of it's true, but it seems true-ish.
Right.
But for a movie, I'm just like, guys, really? Come on. Can we get out of here, please?
And it's just funny because there is like, when they're putting this plan together, there's one guy in the planning stage who goes like, well, the Allies will be here soon. Why don't we just let them take care of it? They're like, hey, you shut up. We got something going here. But at the very end of the movie, after this whole thing failed, it's like, and 9 months later, Hitler committed suicide and the Allies came in and took over. It's like, that guy was right.
Yeah.
Damn. So what you're saying is just, even though this is a strong subject, it's just, this movie is just kind of dull. It just doesn't bring justice to what the
honestly, there was a point when I did fall heavily asleep in it. Like Cyrus had to stop me because I'm sure my snoring was making it hard for him.
He got the sharp elbow
to hear it. Yeah. But it's just like through the whole setup of it, it's hard to get engaged because you know how it's going to end. And so much of what's going on just doesn't feel right.
It feels instructional at best.
So what would you guys give it?
It's I hate to go with rental again,
yeah,
but that's what it is.
It's funny. We had a 1 week where we were giving everything full price, and this is that week where everything gets rental.
Yeah.
Damn. You know, it's just funny how there was an assassination attempt made on Hitler 15 times.
Yeah.
Hitler and Tupac should have been hanging out together. I mean, it's too bad Hitler wasn't around today because he could have had a great rap career.
10 minutes. 1 for the checkpoint. 2 for the walk. 1 to the bunker. 6 to get out. Plenty of time.
But remember, nothing ever goes according to plan.